What is poppin' YouTube world? My name is Ghiman Mckinney. Appreciate all you guys for tuning into the channel today. Be sure to smash this like button right now if you're rocking with your boy. Subscribe to this channel if you're new as well. I do post a ton of great sports videos weekly and almost every single day if I can. And turn on post notifications too so you don't miss a single video. It's only right, guys. Alright, we're previewing and breaking down the Oregon Ducks football schedule in 2019-2020. I'll go game by game on the Oregon Ducks schedule and tell you where I can find some wins and losses on their schedule. We'll see if they can potentially compete for a Pac-12 title. If they win games, if they lose games, you get all the points. So let's kind of talk about what they did last year, who they lost, and we'll get right into things. So last year, Oregon, decent year. Went 9-4. You did lose at home to Stanford in a winnable game. I watched the whole game. You pretty much blew that game. I don't know what happened to that game, but again, Stanford ended up being a decent team. So again, not too much shame in losing that game. You did lose to Washington State. They ended up being a pretty good team last year. Utah ended up being a pretty good team actually last year too. You lost that game. But then the very big questionable loss was losing to Arizona last year, 44-15. Oh my God, that's a blowout. That's just terrible. But again, went to the Red Box Bowl and won a game versus Michigan State in the Red Box Bowl, 7-6. Man, Michigan State, are they no offense you or what? I mean, their offense is abysmal. It's terrible. Oh man, that's terrible. Okay, but either way, Oregon, I'm high on Oregon this year. I think Oregon's gonna be a decent team. I like Oregon this year. Look, again, you return 10 stars on offense. You're going to have one of the best offensive lines in all of college football to me. You also return 7 players on defense. So, again, you return about 17 stars right there off the bat. So, that's very, very good. Now, a couple key losses are Jalen Jelks, okay, Justin Hollins, and Dylan Mitchell. Obviously, 2 very good pass rushers and linebackers in Justin Hollins and Jalen Jelks, okay? And then you got Dylan Mitchell, your most talented wide receiver from a year ago. I think that's going to be a huge loss because you have a lot of inexperience at wide receiver, okay? So can some guys step up? We shall see. Now, Oregon did recruit very well this year. You end up getting the 7th best recruiting class this year. One of those players in the recruiting class was Kayvon Thibodeau, one of the top 2 players in all of the 2019 recruiting class. Okay, he's an absolute stud. He's going to be one of the next great pass rushers. Okay, he definitely should be a first-round pick once his time comes to get drafted in the NFL. But then ultimately, the biggest story for Oregon this year and why I'm so high on Oregon is because of their quarterback, Justin Herbert. He obviously returns this year for his senior season. To me, if he did not come back for his senior season, he'd probably be a New York Giant by now, okay? If I had to bet money, the Giants probably would have taken Justin Herbert, okay? But either way, he comes back for his senior season. I think he's the best prospect for quarterbacks in the entire 2019 draft class. I think he's actually better than Tua Tagovailoa for a couple of reasons. I'll get to that maybe in some other videos. But again, I like Oregon. To me, Oregon's the most talented team in the Pac-12, okay? Look, Washington's a very good team. But again, to me, on paper, I'm just talking about talent. Not talking about winning football games. Not talking about going out there and doing it. Not talking about going out there and proving anything. Just on paper. Oregon, to me, has the most talented roster in all of the Pac-12, better than Utah, better than Colorado, better than USC, better than Washington, okay? So, can that translate to wins? Well, we shall see. The very first 4 games of your season. Auburn on a neutral site field in, I believe, Texas, okay? Nevada at home, Montana at home, and then at Stanford. To me, I actually see a 4-0 start. Now, I'll just tell you something right now, Oregon fans. If you want to be taken seriously this year, you have to beat Auburn. A Pac-12 school cannot lose to the 5th best SEC team potentially again. Last year, Washington lost to Auburn. They were probably arguably the 5th best SEC team last year. Now, to me, Auburn will be a little bit more improved this year. They got Joey Gatewood. You know, they got a very good defensive line. They have some speed on the outside at cornerback and linebackers. But again, to me, Oregon's the better team. It's a neutral site game. It should be more Auburn fans there than Oregon fans because it's down south, okay? But again, you know, Joey Gatewood is very talented, but he's also a freshman. No, he's going up against a senior quarterback in Justin Herbert. I think Oregon's defense is very underrated. I don't think Auburn will have enough firepower to keep up and score with Oregon. I think this is a close game, but again, I trust Oregon to win this game. I'll be beating Auburn on a neutral site field. You'll beat Nevada. You'll beat Montana. Now, at Stanford, it could get a little bit interesting, but again, you did lose to Stanford last year. I think you'll use this as revenge and motivation for this year. And again, to me, I'm just not high on Stanford. I'm not. I'm not. They lost Bryce Love, lost JJ Arcega-Whiteside, they lost their quarterback. They're just not as good as they were last year. I think it's a little bit more of a retooling year for Stanford this year. I'd be beating Stanford on the road. Okay. Now Cal at home, Colorado at home, at Washington State. Now I'm going to just tell you something right now. Again, I already talked to you and stressed to you about the Auburn game, and it's important. Okay, the Auburn game is very important. Right next to that is the game at Washington. Because if you get past this game, man, oh man, I'm looking at Washington State, USC, Arizona, at Arizona State, and Oregon State. To me, Washington State will take a step back this year. The only real tough game to me after that Washington game, if you get past that game, is at USC. And USC is a roller coaster. USC has underperformed the past couple years. So again, can you win that game versus at Washington? I think you'll beat Cal. I think you'll beat Colorado. I think you'll beat Washington State. But unfortunately, I have you losing at Washington. I do. I have you losing at Washington. Look, again, you're a more talented team. But it's in Washington. That worries me. I get it. Washington loses a ton of players on defense. I get it. You're a more talented team. But it's on the road. They have a very good quarterback in Jacob Eason. I like Jacob Eason. Chris Peterson is a very good head coach. I think by that time they'll have their stars incorporated enough. I think Oregon's going to be up for this game. And I have Oregon. I'm sorry. Washington's going to be up for this game. Yes, Washington. I have Washington upsetting Oregon at Washington again. I could see Oregon going in there and winning, but again, I have to see it to believe it. I just think Washington is a very good team. It's a tough place to play at Washington. Oregon, to me, is going to have to prove they can go into Washington and knock off the defending Pac-12 champs until I knock them off, okay? But you'll beat Washington State, like I said. So the next couple games. Now, I'm going to just tell you something right now. Just because you lose at Washington doesn't mean that that you can't make the playoffs. You still can get in the playoffs with only one loss. I think Washington is going to be a top 10 team this year. So again, only one loss at Washington still could potentially get you into the playoffs, okay? I don't have Washington going undefeated. I don't have them winning more than, I only have Washington with 2 losses, okay? So again, can you go undefeated the rest of the way? My answer is no. No, I don't believe it. I think you'll beat USC. I think you'll beat Arizona. I'll be losing at Arizona State. And then I'll be beating Oregon State. I'll explain myself right now. Look, I get it. You're a more talented team than Arizona State. But again, Arizona State almost beat you last year. Okay, I understand they lose some players, but against at Arizona State now. They almost beat you in your house last year. They're never a terrible team. Herm Edwards is a solid head coach. They bring back a decent amount of players. Again, it's a tough road environment. It's hard to go undefeated on college football season, let alone with only 2 losses, okay? Look, the fact that you don't have very many experienced wide receivers worries me. The fact that you are inconsistent on the road worries me. That Arizona game still lingers in the back of my head. I just see you losing at Arizona State. Again, could you beat them? Yes. Are you more talented than them? Yes. But again, I could see you losing at USC. I could see you losing potentially at Stanford. So again, I got you going 10-2 this year. I really do. Look, I am rooting for Oregon this year. I want more teams to be good besides teams in the South. You know, we need teams like Ohio State. We need teams like Notre Dame. We need teams like, the USCs, the Washingtons, the Oregons. We need teams like that for diversity in college football. But again, Oregon to me, on paper, is the most talented team in the Pac-12. Again, if this game was in Oregon versus Washington, I'd pick you guys, but unfortunately, it's at Washington this year. The chips did not fall in your favor. You beat them in your house last year. I think Washington responds this year and beats you guys in Washington. I think you'll lose at Arizona State. So in conclusion, I have Oregon potentially going to a New Year's Six Bowl this year and winning 10 games. And honestly, that's an accomplishment in itself. I think a 10-win season for Oregon is successful. Whether you get in the playoffs or not, whether you win the Pac-12 or not, it doesn't really matter. I think a 10-win season is about right and appropriate and a successful season for Oregon in 2019-2020. That's a wrap for this video. Be sure to smash this like button right now if you're rocking with your boys. Subscribe to this channel if you're new as well. I do post a ton of great sports videos weekly and almost every single day if I can. And turn on post notifications too so you don't miss a single video. It's only right. It's my favorite thing in the world to do to make these YouTube videos for you guys. I appreciate all you guys for watching. The best thing you guys can do to help this channel grow is to share this channel with all your friends. Share it on Facebook, share it on Twitter, share it on Instagram, share it on Snapchat, all that good stuff. I appreciate you guys for watching, and I'm out.